All right. First of all, upcoming training dates we got today, Tuesday, March 15th, 6:30 to 9. Tomorrow, 6:30 to 9 as well. We'll do some indoor stuff, possibly some outdoor stuff depending on the weather, and we'll also have some stations. Thursday, we're gonna spend more time outside, less time in here, more stations, hands-on things. And when it comes to Monday, that's gonna be your practice game. So 5:30 to 11:30.
Monday may change depending on the schedule looks like and stuff. So if you're Monday works, we'll let you know.
Yeah, so actually,
tomorrow,
yeah, you actually get a chance to get on the field, get some experience. The games don't count, so it's more about learning, perfecting your craft, and just working on things we go over in here. First of all, you've already met Danny, aka Dingo, coordinator of competitive sports. We have Bree Johnson, she's our GA here. You might see her around the field sometimes. And then for our PAs, you have Jules, you might see her. She's in official development. You got Olivia Moore, she's the club PA. And then you have me, I'm the PA for flag football. What a title. Expectations, be on time, 10 minutes before your shift. My close number is 15, so if you schedule for 6:30, be here at 6:15. Gives you enough time to get here, get changed. If something goes wrong, you also have that 5-minute comfort, you know, just in case. Wear appropriate attire with necessary equipment. Be prepared. Buy a pair of cleats, might be wet, don't want to fall, hurt. Wear something you can tuck your jersey into with a tight waistband, some shorts or some sweatpants as well. It is March, so it might not be cold, but the weather's kind of wild. Just, you know, keep in mind of it. Also, it rains here every day sometimes, so just in case, bring a coat as well. Know the rules. This is more of a learning thing. You know, the more you put in the work, the more it gets easier, but it is an expectation for us. Work as a team on the field, that's big for me as well. Work as a cohesive unit, it makes your job easier and it makes the experience for the players much better. Hustle, you know, run. Field's pretty short, it's not even 77, field's 40 yards, not too much. We're not asking too much to run 40 yards. And also have fun. I don't think this job is not about having fun. I have a lot of fun refereeing. I enjoy watching them play as well. So it's all about what you get out of it. Schedule, we go over some Do Sports easy stuff found on the Campus Rec website, update and availability. Schedule comes out every Friday. This covers Monday through Sunday, and the games are played at 5 p.m. Availability is due 5 p.m. on Monday. This does not mean put it in 5 p.m. on Monday. It makes Olivia's job and my job much easier if you just put it in Friday, Sunday. There's certain things you won't have to change, but like if you have to, it's better to get it in sooner than later. So this is the website. This is what it looks like. Down here, you'll see team member links, and you got Do Sports Easy right here, also known as DSE. This is what the login screen is. Same login for your school, pretty much. Right here, so if you're a first-time employee, I guess this is only you, right? Fill this out, so you got your name. You blocked out my number?
What?
You blocked out my stuff?
Yeah, because I don't want your mom's address.
So yeah, fill this out. You got any allergies? So I'm allergic to Lysol. Everybody always laughs when they hear that. So they do know that. So if you have any allergies, put that in. This is what the homepage looks like. So when you click on it, you'll see your schedule right here. If you have a game or work schedule, it'll show up as right there. Pretty much, I think I have a screen that will display that. This is my availability for the week. So right here, usually I'm blocked off 7 to 5. Right here, I had 2 basketball games, so I put that in so I don't get scheduled. Now, after these games are played, I remove them. So now I can work here, here. There you go. So these right here never change. This is what I'm talking about. If you have placements that need to be blocked out, just go ahead and block them out. Never change them.
Maybe talk about exclusions.
Yeah, I mean those are, well, yeah. I can't, yeah.
So this screen, you want to make sure is always the same as much as possible. This is like every week it can't work. If you need a request off for a basketball game or you want to request off to study, you'll go to exclusions and you can put in a one-time thing. So that way you don't have to come back next week and remember to change it. So we don't want to forget. And now you're like, I didn't get the issues last week because you didn't adjust it. So I would say if you can, put exclusions, that way you don't have to worry about messing with this one constantly. It'll save you hopefully the effort and the time and the worry for that.
So yeah, right here, this is basically where you set your availability. If you have to move it, it'll be like a little bar, the block, tell you the time right here. You can also punch it in, the numbers right there, start to end. Then you can click unavailable. These are what senior shifts look like I said. This was one of my work weeks. So you can see 5 p.m. to 10, supervisor, 5:30 to 10:30, supervisor. You can always check this. You do get an email that shows your shifts. I recommend looking at this because this is more concrete. Sometimes the email will mess up as well. This will not lie to you. This is when you work. So right here, you got your job codes. As you can see, I have 12 jobs here. Something like that. There you go. Y'all might have 2. So you can see like your title. This is what you'll clock in as. So you come for official training, sports official, flag football. You'll see that. So when they ask you to clock in, this is what you put. So you can trade your shift. So what you'll do is, you got your shifts right here. Click it. It'll ask you basically to just hit trade. Now somebody has to accept it. So until someone accepts it, it's still your shift. So you still have to come. We do have ways around that. You know, there's people that can fill in, things like that. We have people on standby that if somebody doesn't need to fill your shift, we can try to find somebody to do it if it's urgent though. And once you post it, so you'll see right here, it'll be labeled. You can also cancel it right here. And now, as you can see, this was someone's shift right here, so I can also accept it. So you'll hit request, and then what happens is they have to approve it. Basically, if you want to make that process faster, you can just email them, say, I'm taking so-and-so shift, and then they'll confirm it, and then they'll send you the okay, basically. You will have weekly officials training, quizzes. We'll do a quiz tomorrow, and there'll be weekly emails on updates, recognition. So if you did good, I like to, you know, give kudos, things like that. And you also have like short quizzes for reviews and things like that. The quizzes are on Cultric. We'll do one tomorrow, so you'll see like a good example of that. They'll be up at 5 p.m. Thursday and run until Wednesday at 12 noon weekly. We do have bi-weekly meetings. Sometimes they're on Zoom, sometimes they're in person, but they usually be conducted Wednesday at 3:30. So officials uniform, all y'all just went into 7C, I believe, both of you. Did you go in there? The other building? Yeah. So the stripes are in there, must be tucked in. Like I said, pants or shorts are recommended. Make sure they're black, they should be athletic. I recommend getting something you're comfortable moving in for hours, because you be out here for 3 or 4 hours. Jeans, cargo shorts, etc. are not allowed. Forward-fitting pants like tights, things like that, not allowed either. Shoes are required while you officiate. Should be athletic shoes. Like I said earlier, cleats are strongly encouraged. They make your job much easier. So injuries, if you have an injury, what happens is you'll find someone who looks like me, have this uniform on. You'll be assigned a flag football suit, and they'll be with you pretty much spectating your game. If you have an injury, basically you notify them. And then past that, your job is basically done. They'll take care of everything else. If you have like a major injury and they're not around, just try to make sure the player's okay. Like if you see something physically wrong with him, try not to move him, or make sure he's stable. You got blood or throw up, those are the other ones. So someone's bleeding, make sure they're stationary. So we have to clean that up. So if someone has a bloody nose and then they run all the way across the field to the bathroom, each spot we have to get up. So try to make sure they're in the same place and then notify the supervisor. Just tell them to stop moving, that's the best thing you can do. Throw up is the same way. Like if someone starts yakking, try to make sure they stay in the same spot. Now we can get to some of the rules. Any questions about anything we just went over? You're good? You're good? All right. Check-in procedure. This won't be handled by you, but it's still good to know because some people might ask you the question. They must have a student ID to play. They check in right there basically. You walked in at the window. The supervisor, so basically people that look like me, will be responsible for this. Before the game starts, check players for jewelries, pockets, headbands or not, so You got a headband like the Ninja headband. If you tie it, they cannot wear that at all. Build hats, hoodies with pockets. So you got the front pocket right there. They cannot wear that with the flag belt. Also watches. You will see all these, every single one of them. They don't read the rules. Yeah, they don't read the rules. So as soon as they come in and start warming up, go ahead and start scanning the field because you will see every single one of these on these players.
And the pockets, same thing, like one hand touch, right?
Yeah, so if they have short pockets, pockets like this, they cannot wear a flag belt either. Basically, after that, they become one-hand touch. The touch is shoulder to knee. These are the scorecards. You have to fill this out. You can't fill this out before the game, during the game, and after the game. It's a whole process. So you got the date, time, and field. Sometimes the supervisor will fill this out for you. Most of the time, they'll take care of that. Team name and color. So we have different jerseys. So you'll have like Dingoes, blue. And then you have Rockets, red, basically. So it'll be around. So team options for each half. So you got first, offense, defense, defer, goal. So this is part of the coin toss. Let's say offense wins the toss. They choose to defer. Basically, you'll circle this right there, and then you'll ask the other team, do they want offense or defense? Whatever they choose, you circle that. Pretty simple. Score for each half. So you'll calculate it right here. So you got a touchdown, a PAT, whatever it is, you will write it right here. And then second half, same thing. You got the final score right here. Sportsmanship rating, we'll get into that later. And any UCs you have, which is unsportsmanlike conduct, so it's basically like bad behavior during the game, you'll write it right here. My recommendation is write the number of the player, what team it was on. Basically, you can use the color since you have that. Red 54, and then write the reason, cussing, fighting, things like that. Arguing, simple. Who were at which position? So our main positions here are ref and back. There we go. Yeah, so usually there's a line. If you run a two-man mechanics, you'll have ref and back. So let's say you run ref, write your name right here. Back judge, you write your name right there. We do have a mercy rule. So 28, men's and women's co-rec is, that's not right. Is that right? It both is 28 though, right?
Yeah, now.
Okay, yeah. So both is 28 points, last 1 minute into the game. So if you forget, it is at the bottom. And after the game, you turn into the supervisor in the game, which is the flag football suit.
This is 28 by halftime, right?
28, fourth quarter, 1 minute left.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, so the back judge will also carry this. You have a pocket right here, so put in, you have a pen as well. So that would be you, basically. During the game, he'll take it out, fill out whatever he needs. And then the ref basically does not have access to this at all. So most of the time, you'll have somebody ask you to score, just refer them to the back judge. That's the easiest way to do that. More football rules, need your ID to play. So the ball, you can provide a team with ball if they ask. Most of the times we ask that they provide their own ball. They can use the same ball if they agree as well. We do provide all the flag belts that they tie around though. Players, so 4 players for men's, women's, and co-rec. They must have 3 to start the game. That is important to remember. Co-rec rule, the ratio is 2 to 2. So this is a mix. You have 2 males and 2 females. If you're playing with 3, the ratio becomes 2 to 1. So you have to have 2 males if you have 1 female. And same thing, you have 2 females, you can only have 1 male playing if they're not present. So you cannot have 3 males on the field at the same time. You cannot have 3 females. You cannot have 1 person out there in general. And also in co-rec, you can't do 3-1 either. Can't do 3-1, it must be 2-2. That's a rule important to remember because they're not going to know that either. So that is important to remember as well. So we got equipment for the field. We got pylons. You use 6 per end zone to mark. So you got the initial goal line. You got 2 right there. You got the back, 2 right there. And then where we spot the ball in the middle, place 2 in the back right there. So we'll go over that Wednesday when we set up the field as well. You got the cones to mark the line of scrimmage. So this is where they snap the ball from. You have a red puck, a yellow puck. So you'll mark that. That's what cones are. You got yardage markers. So these are the little 20, 40, 20. Basically, you have 0 as well, or the line of scrimmage. So you'll need those as well. Player equipment, you got shirts under the jersey. They must be tucked in. This is for safety purposes as well as just other players reaching for the flag belt. Makes it easier. Flag belt with 3 flags. So you'll have 2 on the side, 1 in the back, and braces, no exposed metal. So you'll see people come out with big knee braces, big arm braces. Just try to look at them. You can kind of tell when they're just really bulky and metal. Just try to keep an eye on it. If you don't know, ask someone who looks like me, and then we'll come and talk to them and just confirm it. That's honestly, if you don't know something, that's like what we're here for. So if you have a question, come and ask. If I don't know the answer, I'll go to somebody who does. He doesn't know the answer, he'll find the answer with somebody else. Somebody has it. So
I'll give you the answer correct.
optional towels. So you might see some teams come out here. It is Wilmington, so it rains a lot. They'll bring a towel so they can wipe the ball with. Basically what you'll do is, like I talked about the cones, you got the orange and the yellow. This marks the line of scrimmage. So when you say place next to the orange cone, that's what they're talking about. They have to place the towel down before they snap the ball, and then they step back. So they cannot put it in the player's shorts. So right here, to the side, in the back, around their neck, whatever they got it on. Cannot happen. This is also something you're gonna have to keep an eye on, because people put towels in their pockets and shorts even when they're not the quarterback. So they might be on defense and carry a towel. They cannot have that. The quarterback is responsible for removing the towel after the play is over. So they cannot leave it in place either on the ground. Safety hazard. So as you see, what's the pause, the red one?
The left arrow.
So if you remove the belt,
Yeah, you cannot do that.
that's the,
I want to pause it first. Which one is it?
did they tell?
I think it's bad down.
So he just drops it. Okay.
So I can't. So right here, flag belts must be worn. Sometimes they drop off, but you see somebody deliberately take it off, go ahead and stop them and have it put it back on. If they want to stop using a flag belt, because we do have that option, they need to remove it off the field. They can't have it on the ground right here.
Maybe like the last second choice there, right?
Yeah. Illegal equipment, we already discussed some of these. No pockets, basically anywhere. Hoodie pockets. You got belt loops, so if someone comes out here and these are a massive safety hazard. Mostly because you got a flag belt, you pull, these will definitely break people's fingers if they get stuck in them. And exposed drawstring, so like I say, you got shorts, the time needs to be tucked in as well. Most of the time, if a player has a shirt tucked in, that should take care of the drawstring as well. If a player has pockets or does not want to tuck their shirt in, they can play one-hand touch. We already talked about this some, but they are not allowed to wear a flag belt. The shoulder to the knee. So if they get tagged in the shoestring, ankle, that is not out. It must be between the shoulder and knee. Sweatshirts with a hood and or exposed front pocket. So if they have a hood, so you also have a hood, they have to tuck it inside of their hoodie. Same reason for the pockets, you can break stuff when you're reaching. And we already talked about the front pocket exposed for the hoodie. They can't flip it inside out. That does take care of the front hood. When you have players with pockets on their shorts, they cannot flip those inside out though, because the pocket's still there. A lot of people ask you that, but they still don't realize the pocket is still there when you do that. No build hats, bandanas with knots. Same thing with the headbands. You got jewelry. Stocking caps are okay. Also, you got scullies, toboggans, whatever you call them, soft hats. Sometimes they have the ball on the top. You can also wear those. Shoes with all metal cleats are prohibited. Now, most of these are like baseball cleats. If you don't know like cleats, they're hard to see. Most of the time you see people, they'll just wear like basic soccer cleats or basic football cleats out here. Yeah, they're kind of hard to spot, but just keep an eye on it. One thing you can see is someone's running, the bottom of their shoe is kind of lit, sparkling, things like that. That only happens with metal, doesn't happen with plastic.
Did we have it in the first time? I don't remember every single game.
I've had it happen a couple of times, but most of the time people, they just don't know, basically. So we can talk about the coin toss a little bit. Visiting team calls heads or tails. What I like to do is I'll turn to the Viz team, stick 1 or 2 behind my back. They say 2, then they get to choose offense, defense, end of the field, and defer. I do see a lot of people messing this up. You do have all 4 options to tell them, so it's just not offense and defense. They can pick side of the field as well, and they also can pick defer. Now, if team chooses defer, that does not mean the other team automatically gets the ball. You still have to ask them. So if they don't want the ball, they can choose defense. So let's say first team chooses defer. That means they get the choice at the second half as well. That is also does not mean they automatically get the ball. So you still have to go ask them. Most people think just because you defer, you get the ball. You get the choice. So let's say they want the side of the field because of the wind, they get that. Maybe they don't want the ball. They rather have the side of the field. They rather have the side of the field, excuse me. So just keep that in mind. I know a lot of people, they'll give you crap just because you ask them and things like that, but just make sure like some teams, most teams, they'll want the ball, you know, but make sure you just at least ask them. The ball does start at the 10-yard line too. So like I said, our field's 40 yards. This is marked with the X. See it on the field, it's big X. It's not the X is 14.
14 for that.
Okay. X is not 14, well the X is 14. The 10-yard line, you'll see like a little dash mark, and there's also a dash mark on the 3 as well.
I remember we dealt with that with the decisions with the deferred thing. With one,
Yeah.
They were having a tough time understanding what we were trying to explain.
Yeah, I mean, so like they'll give you crap for it, like I said, but like as long as you ask them, it's up to them to give you the answer though. Like you can tell what I like to do is you want offense, defense, or defer. Most of the time, I don't give side because like most teams don't know about that. I'll give side when it's like windy as well, but if it's a regular day, I don't give side. Offense, defense, defer. Then you ask. I had a team, as you said last semester, I think he was working with me too. The kid chose, the one team chose defer, the other team chose defense. So that means the team got the ball as well. So he got the choice at the half, so he got the ball both times. They didn't understand why. So then I told the kid, I was like, you chose defense. I was like, you want the ball, choose ball. That was it, but he didn't do that.
I remember that. That was my game. That was my game. I was there for that.
They're used to playing that where you get the ball back time. This is not how it works in the actual rule of it. So if they ever say offense, defense, or defer your options, at that point, that's what you want to tell the team. Offense and defense. Please keep in mind, they now get the option in the second half to get the ball or defense. Explain it, they won't be ready for that.
Yeah, some teams don't think like people like playing defense. The Ravens chose defense every time they won the Super Bowl.
Or you tell them when you say offense and defense, they say defense, help them understand that you understand that you were going to give the defense above pass. But wait, what? And they will get the option to have things with further options.
Yeah, you kind of explain it to them. You get a lot of people out here, they don't really know too much of what's going on, so regular play. So the field is 60 yards. This includes the end zone as well. So you got the 40, then 10 to 10. 30 yards wide, is it? Yeah, 2 10-yard end zones, 2 20-yard zones. At the start of the game, following a try, touchback, or safety, the ball will be snapped at the team's 10-yard line. We already went over that. A team will have 3 consecutive downs to advance to the next zone. This is important because they're not going to read this and they're not going to know. Regular football, 4. The reason why we do 3 is because we don't do punts. So if it's pass only, what are you going to do? Pass again? Most of the time you got to punt, so that's why we do 3. This is important because I'm telling you, they're not going to know this at all.
They don't get the third turnover.
Yeah, it's a turnover spot.
Yep.
Exactly.
Exactly. I've been playing with my friends down at Crosslinks, so like I got a little bit of the gist of it.
Yeah, you good. So like I said, there's no kicking, no punts. We do not do that. If a team does not convert, the opposing team takes the possession at the spot. So let's say they start at 10, they go 3 and out, no yards. Defense takes the ball right there at their 10, so they only got 10 yards to score right there.
Give it a second. Wait a second. You're right.
These are the dimensions of the field. So you can go over some of the pylons right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Also 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is different. We have 6. So basically you'll snap the ball in between these lines. So you have one right here and one right here. What that's for is when you're the ref, you'll come down. You got 2 cones to kind of make sure you're in the middle, and you can spot the ball anywhere in between these cones. So like the play is over here, try to spot it like somewhere over here. Don't walk all the way over here to spot it. Just spot it as close as you can. We got the 20-yard lines as well. There's only 1 first down, so it's right there in the middle. I'm good, it's working? All right. So then,
First down, when they make past the 20 guys.
yeah, that's the only first down. After that, it's goal to game. You got team area, so team box. We have cones right here, so this will be your like 0, 20, 0. They need to be behind these cones. There's a line right here in the box they must stay in. I assume we're still doing opposite field, opposite side of the field. Yeah, so one team will be right here, and you'll have another team right here as well. If you have issues with them like being in your way, there's only be like 1 person on the sideline for 2-man mechanics, so that'll be the ref. Let somebody that looks like me know, catch it early, because you need to do your job. So if they're in your way, that's an issue as well. When we talk about unsportsmanlike conduct, that is something you can throw on a team if they're continuously in your way while you're trying to do your job. Talk about timing. The games are 2 14-minute halves. The clock will only stop for timeouts, and according to the rules, during the last 2 minutes of the second half. So the whole first half is a running clock. The only time you stop it is if you got an injury, blood. If I have to come on the field to like talk to the team, you can stop the clock as well. You have officials timeout, so if 2 of y'all have, you know, a different call, things like that, y'all can come together. We're gonna talk about that later. You can stop the clock on that as well to kind of discuss. They get 1 timeout per half, and they do not carry over. When you get to overtime, you get 1 additional timeout per team. So if they don't use the one in the second half, that does carry over, correct? Does not, okay.
So they just get 1 again.
Yeah, it's basically like another half, they'll get 1 timeout. Each team is allowed a series of 3 downs from the 10-yard line to score. So this is 10 going into the end zone as well. So you'll spot it at 10, they get 3 chances. If they don't score, flip sides, they get 3 chances as well. Now, when you do the switch, because you'll do another overtime, whoever didn't have the ball first will now get the ball first.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then they defense, they don't score. Let's say the other team doesn't score. You just keep that going until someone does it. They do get a PAT try after they score as well. We'll go over what the tries are after the touchdown. Talk about mercy rule, 28 points or more with 1 minute left. If you don't remember that, remember it's on the bottom of the score sheet as well. So let's talk about starting the clock, last minute of the second half. So you got your major clock stoppers. This means the game clock starts on the snap. So this is after the play is dead, they'll pause it. Incomplete pass, out of bounds, you got a timeout, touchdown, touchback, turnover, inverted whistle, illegally consuming time. This is important to remember because you might see it, you might not. Let's say a team is continuously going like encroachment, cross sides, things like that. They're not trying to play the game. That's when that kicks in pretty much, yeah. There are ways you can kind of milk the clock with penalties and things like that, just stalling. That's also a UC as well if you catch that, so you just gotta pay attention. Minor clock stoppers. So this means the game clock starts on the whistle. First downs, you got official timeout for like an injury and penalties. This is a major one to remember as well. So if you have an injury, you'll stop the clock. Now when they get lined up to play again, you'll blow your whistle, you'll say first down, go to game. As you blow your whistle, that's when the clock stops. So it's not on the snap as well. Reason for that is nothing in the game kind of stopped the clock. These are all like game plays pretty much. Incomplete pass, things like that. That's more something that's secondary. You also stop the clock for penalties. Penalties is another thing. Since we have to enforce them, that can kind of milk time as well. So enforce the penalty, stop the clock, but it starts on the whistle.
The first down is like, so they get to 20 and then you can stop the clock.
Yeah, so we have first down is a clock stop as well. So we got one first down, remember it's in the middle. As soon as they cross that line, you do stop the clock. And it's on the whistle as well.
I remember that. That was like, we had, like some people didn't remember that at some moments during those last minutes of the other games, so.
Yeah. This is important to look at because this is one thing like you're gonna remember. There's only 2 of you, so like one person is gonna always have the clock. It's different from 4-on-4 or 7-on-7 where there was 3 people or 4 people. One of you will have the clock, so it is important to know this. You will have to work the clock this year at some point, so. It does take time, you know, just pay attention. I could say, if you don't know, you know, ask questions. It's the best thing. Because I could say this is more of a in the game, in the moment type of learning thing. Like just reading it isn't going to give you everything you need to actually perform it. It's more of a situation type thing. So extending a period is only extended if during the last down, there is an accepted live ball penalty that is not penalized as a dead ball and is not carried and loss of down. There's an offsetting penalties as well. There's an inverted whistle. There's a touchdown. So extending the period means the half is over, basically, but you still have to play that happen. So after that, that means you have to play another play. So let's say, for instance, you got offsetting penalties. Let's say you got a flag guard and you also got a holding as well on the same play, but then the half ended. Basically, you have to offset those penalties, get another play. Inverted whistle, so let's say team's running down the field, right? But you actually blow your whistle. But as you do that, the clock stops. We don't put time back on the clock. They just get to snap the ball for another chance. That's basically what happens. Same thing, there's a touchdown. So during the touchdown, let's say game ends, they still have to attempt the PAT as well, no matter what the score is. So if they're up by 40, they score, game ends, they still get a try for the PAT. So that's another scenario where you can extend the period. Let's go over some correct rules. These are important. I'm gonna tell you, this is another thing where it's more of a in-game scenario type of thing for learning. You get more experience, you get more comfortable learning it. So every possession starts open. So we only do passing here, so that means you can throw the ball to anyone. If I'm a guy, I can throw the ball to Chase, or I can throw the ball to you as well. Let's say I throw the ball to Chase. That means the play is closed. So now, I have to throw the ball to a woman, basically. Now, you can have it the other way. Some people don't know this. Even when I was going over the slides, this wasn't mentioned. If you have a female to female completion, so let's say you throw the ball to another girl, that play is still closed, and then the next play, a male has to be involved. So the thing you remember is whichever gender closed the play, you have to have the opposite gender involved. They can throw the ball or catch the ball as well. It's not locked. So like, yeah, they just have to participate in the next play in some way. To reopen the play, so there are some stipulations. You can't just do it and then it's over. You have to have a legal forward pass, so that means it has to be from behind the line of scrimmage, cross the line of scrimmage as well, and they have to catch it. We'll talk about what a catch is later. And it must involve the opposite gender, which the play was closed from. Those are the 2 things that can open up a play. So let's say they have an incomplete pass. Is the play open?
Wait, incomplete pass. Male, play is, is that closed?
It's still closed, yeah.
Yep.
So they have to complete the pass, correct. So let's say it's closed, male to male. If I throw the ball to Chase, he gets the yardage. Is it open or closed? It is closed, yes. So I have to throw the ball to a woman. Keep this in mind. When you start the play, you say you're correct, you go first down, go to game, play is open or play is closed. The teams will not know this when they start. This is one of the things where they will not pay attention to, and they'll just be out there playing about the first couple weeks. They'll get used to it. about like week 3, they'll kind of know it, but it's something to keep an eye on as well. Go over some game basics, definitions. So you got ball status, got live ball, dead ball. 2 terms basically. You got the down and you got in between downs. Type of plays, you got running, loose ball. So these are basically the 4 you gotta wanna keep in mind. You got live, dead, running, or loose. There are situations where they're intertwined, and we'll go over that later. You got catch and interception. You also have a simultaneous catch. So that's when, let's say me and Chase both catch the ball at the same time. We have rules that kind of handle that. Possession, player, team, there's also some definitions, and ready for play. So ready for play is basically at the whistle, ball is now live. Well, ball is now ready for play. So fumble, we do not have fumbles, so the ball drops, the play is dead. It's not like high school, college, or NFL. Goal line, so this is basically the line when we looked at the diagram for the field. This is the line you have to cross to get a touchdown. Handing, so handing off pitch, loss of down. Muff is something we don't have because we don't punt. So basically if someone punts though, you go to catch the ball, you drop it, muff. That's what that term is. Neutral zone. In between the cones, like I talked about the line of scrimmage where you place the 2 cones, you got in between that is considered a neutral zone. You got the passer, so quarterback passes, forward pass, backward pass, just 2 to remember. Make a forward pass, they have to be behind the line of scrimmage. There we go. A backward pass, you can do that basically anywhere on the field. So even if you're behind the line of scrimmage, you can lateral it. And tagging. I'm not sure what tagging is. You're not sure either? Okay. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I thought it was like penalties, not me. Tags down.
Basically touch.
Can they do what's the one where you put the ball back? Something
Pitch, lateral.
Like it's like you caught the ball down the field and you throw it back. That's I forget the term. What's the special term for that?
Lateral.
Lateral, thank you.
You can do like pitch or backwards pass. All those work. Lateral is the term you usually hear though.
I'm thinking, like, say I threw the ball to you, and then another person's running right here, then you throw the ball back, and they can do that, right?
Oh, dude.
What did I do?
It is not a thing.
Where did we go? Game basics, there we go. Yay. Policy on like rushing the passer.
We'll talk about it later. You cannot rush though. Good question, yeah. We do not allow, since it's passing only, there's no rush. We have rules in place for when people rush, because I promise you, you will see it. You will see it.
I was thinking about the other day.
Yeah. They're what?
They just started.
Danny, what is going on?
I don't know.
Thank goodness. That means we won't deal with much of the on the line type stuff from last time.
What?
That was definitely happening. Or was it?
Alright, go over here, back out real quick. Go back in one drive.
Technology is frustrating.
What's your name again? Marcelo? Marcelo, there we go. Yeah, that is one good thing about 4v4. You don't have a lot of line play. The down play of that is they pass every play, so you will have a lot of pass interference and stuff downfield as well. So
that's the big thing we're really looking for.
yeah, these are not D1 cornerback, so you will have a lot of that. You kind of have a trade-off. So like 7v7, the main thing is you get a lot of rushing problems on the line. 4v4, you get a lot of passing defensive problems as well. Okay, we was done with this. All right, we good? All right, you got team player. designations, offense or defense. Basically, these are going to be important for like the scenarios we go over. You got runner, passer, substitute or sub. Someone subs in. Team A, when you see this is referring to the offense. You see Team B, this is referring to the defense. So we got live ball, dead ball. The snap is when the ball becomes live. So any time before that is considered dead. It remains live until the down ends. Chase, can you tell me some examples of when the down can end or play can end?
Say catch was successful, but then they pull the flag out. That's when the down is over.
Yeah, that's another one. So blow your whistle. After that, another one is they step out of bounds.
Yep.
So that's another one.
Incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass. Those are some of the main ones.
And then we call penalty technically, like that stops it too, correct? Like,
So the play is live. You have throw and goes. So we haven't went over that. So most of the
I
time,
remember where the penalty happened.
you kind of throw the flag where it goes. So
Like a false start for them.
yeah, but then that's dead, right? Yeah. So anytime the play is live, no flag, no penalty will end unless they're fighting. Unless it's a UC. That's probably the only scenario I have where the play actually ends depending on a flag. Other than that, you just throw the flag at the spot or in the air, wherever it is, and then you kind of let the play go through. We'll talk about that later. When an official blows his or her whistle, the ball is normally already dead as well. So as soon as the flag is pulled, you can take like a little debrief if you need to see it and things like that. This prevents an inverted whistle. Your eyes will get much better as you kind of experience more, so you'll be more in tune to blowing your whistle at the right time. So this can also prevent these inverted whistles. If you have an inverted whistle, you kill the play, and basically you have options. So you'll ask the offensive captain which choice they would like to make during a loose ball. So basically, let's say, like you said, they were running and then we accidentally blow the whistle and the play is dead. They get an option to replay the down if the ball is in the air. Basically, during the run, they can take the spot of where the whistle is. So let's say they're running down the field, we blow the whistle at the 10. They can take it from there at the 10, or they can take it from where they snap the ball at. So let's say they snap the ball at half field. Those are the two options.
Say they're running and they make it to the 10. Is that now second down for them in that scenario?
So say they're running from the 15-yard line, we blow the whistle at the 10, they went actually down. The play would stop at the 10-yard line, and that would just be the end of the play. They ball second and 10 out.
Yeah, so basically you would treat it as their flag got pulled right there.
Or they go back to where they were, they replay it, so it'd still be first down.
So replay first or second?
Yeah, second. They will be upset at you. Let's say you're the person that didn't blow their whistle. Just remember, like I said, you're a unit, you're a team. So one person messed up, all of you messed up. Like, don't give your partner crap just because it happens, because it could happen to you. Even if you're like you doing 77, you got 4 people with you and one of them messes up, all 4 of you messed up. Treat it like that. It goes much smoother for the rest of the game as well. Like I said, they will be mad at you for this because a lot of times they can take back touchdowns, big plays, things like that. Just try to explain to them what their options are. And the important thing is the offensive captain. So the defensive captain does not have a say-so in this. They don't even have to be in the huddle when you do this. It's the offensive captain as well. They don't have. Yeah, defense has no choice.
One thing to keep in mind with your whistle, to hopefully avoid the whistle, is that your whistle signifies the ball's already dead. Some action kills the play. So that's the flag being pulled, the ball in the ground, whatever it is, that is what kills the play. Your whistle doesn't kill the play. So think my whistle just signaling the play's already over, not actually
ending it.
It's signaling the dead ball, not making the ball dead. But it's gonna happen, like Glenn said, it's gonna happen. It's unfortunate. It's kind of a rough moment to have happen, but it's gonna happen. You just gotta own up to it, deal with it, get over it, the game will continue.
So right there, as soon as the snap happened, play is now dead. You'll see the ref counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll go over that later. As soon as the flag is pulled, that's when the ball is deemed dead. Anything before that is considered live. You can watch that again too. So this is live. all of this. He catches, possesses, now the play is dead. Another note, as soon as he catches the ball, it's not considered a loose ball play anymore. As soon as he has possession, it's now considered a running play. He's a runner. That's another thing. That's why I say you can have the mix. So you have a loose ball to a running play.
I saw him doing is there a certain amount of time they can get the ball on?
5. They have 5 seconds to throw.
Okay, man.
You didn't know that?
No, it clicked a second later. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah, so there's different ways you can count. You can do your arm. You can do 5, 4. You can have a visual as well. I like the visual more. It keeps me in track as well. So let's talk about, we already went over this some. Play ends when a player goes out of bounds. This is one, any body part of the player touches the ground except feet or hands. So this is more like knee, butt, shoulder, elbow, head. You'll see it all when that happens. Play is dead. A pass becomes incomplete. A backward pass or fumble hits the ground. So we don't have fumbles. As soon as it's ground, play is dead. You have a simultaneous catch. So most of the time when you see this, they'll start fighting over the ball. The play is dead after that. And okay, it doesn't say right here, but offensive player retains possession at that. We don't decide or who catches it first, blah, blah, blah. It's just offensive player.
Well, so it's saying, yeah, so the place is dead once it's on the what's happening. They're also going to keep the ball, but it's dead and it's happening. The offense is now getting the ball to start running on the field.
Yeah, play is dead. You got,
yeah, so the rule is simultaneous catch, the play is over. Off the ball right there.
Flag belt is removed legally. They don't have a flag belt. You have one hand touch. If the belt falls off, so you'll see this, if a player's running and his belt falls off, you need to scream, touch, touch, one hand touch, something loud enough so they can hear, because they also don't know that rule. Most of the time they see a flag belt fall off, they just freeze. They don't really know what to do after that. Scream touch as loud as you can. If they don't understand it, that's on them. Basically, it's in the rule book. Most of them don't know, but as soon as they experience it for the first time, they'll know. And like I said, the touch is between shoulder and the knee area. Oof. So you have an incomplete pass. This is an example of an incomplete pass. You can see he throws the ball across the middle, and the player does not catch it. This is good to see because actually didn't call his out. He did step out of bounds though. Yeah, so right here you see he steps out right there. That's another thing that can end the play as well. This referee just happened to miss it. And this is the one where the flag belt was pulled. This is another good example. Okay, I don't know what's going on in this play. Okay. Okay, there we go. It looks weird.
If I'm looking at it,
Yeah, the angle is
it's crazy, but I get it.
it's like if you're standing like where I am, like that's like the correct angle it's at, I guess. But yeah, this example of invert whistle. So like I said, it does happen. She didn't wait to see the play. She just saw a reach and a pull, and then she blew her whistle.
Yeah. So should I say about football? I do want to skip forward real quick. Should I say about football? Is you can take time. It's not like basketball where waiting seconds and you can change everything happen. You can wait, see the flag get pulled, then blow your whistle. You can give it that second. You don't need to be so quick. And that's what you're signaling the ball's already dead. You're not killing the ball.
So you talk about the line of scrimmage, so the requirements prior to the snap. So you got your neutral zone is 1 yard line. get your cones. Orange is offense, yellow is defense. So you'll place the orange cone, take a step, and you'll place the yellow cone. It'll be 1 yard in between. No one can be in the neutral zone as well. So if they cross, that is a blow and throw. Yeah, it's offense or defense. Yeah, offense is false start. Defense, it is encroachment.
That one game is
Yeah, so the offense must have one player on the line of scrimmage. Usually this is just taking care of the snapper as well. So they'll snap the ball from that orange puck and that will take care of that. Make sure you watch where they snap the ball from. So like if the puck is like right here, they cannot be to the right or to the left, to the right. It doesn't have to be on it, but it has to be in the general area. Usually I tell people not to place the ball directly on the cone, just place it like beside it, excuse me.
And they're still doing that motion thing, right? Like they can't like take it off and throw it. Like it has to be like one continuous.
Yeah, so they can you can snap the ball like this. Basically, it just has to be on the ground. It has to be one continuous motion. So you can't like lift it and then do like this. It just has to be one fluid motion to the quarterback. It also
They can like snap it to somebody and then like pass it and
Like yeah, like they can't pick it up and then pass it. It's just some will do that definitely. Some of them were doing it last time.
yeah, so like we make it easy because they don't have to snap it between your legs. They don't. They can snap it just like this. Yeah, it just has to be one fluid motion. Most of the time you'll see people, they'll pick it up and they'll throw it. Like Chase said, you have some people, they'll pick up the ball like this, then they'll turn around and try to throw it. That's another. It also does not have to be in a straight line. So like if I want to snap the ball that way, as long as it's behind me, it's legal as well. So you don't have to snap it in a straight line as well. Most people don't know that though, so. But it is one thing to keep in mind. We just talked about this. So snap must be one continuous motion. The player receiving the snap must be at least 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So this is important. This is one thing you can tell the quarterback because you'll probably have some people, they'll try to take a snap under center. We don't allow that either. Main thing is there's no rush, so there's no point of you being under there either. Must be 2 yards. You can kind of eyeball it. You'll get an understanding of what 2 yards is. As long as they have like some space between the snapper, like it should be good. Only one offensive player may be in motion at the time of the snap. If a player is in motion, they cannot be on the line of scrimmage. So they have to be behind the orange cone, basically. A good indication is behind the snapper. That's a good one. And the player in motion cannot be moving forward during the snap. So all motions must be lateral, side to side. So if I'm in motion and then my quarterback is about to snap the ball, then I cut up, but he hasn't snapped the ball yet, that is illegal. You will see that. Yes. Nice. Yeah, that's about 1 yard. There we go. Yeah, so you'll see some teams, they'll put a player in motion anytime they cut up the field before the snap. You can call it a false start. Illegal motion is considered a throw and go though, correct? Yeah, it's a throw and go. If they cross the line, call it a false start. Because most of the time you'll see they'll cross the line. That's where I get that from. But if they don't, you just throw it and then you go. What happens is you'll take the penalty from the line of scrimmage. But what it does is it gives the chance for a defense to get like an interception or something. Basically it. Like I said, you will see this though. There are teams that will do this, especially since it's passing only. You'll probably see it more versus instead like 77. All players must be at least 5 yards from the sideline and in bounds at the time ready for play. So we do not allow like the trick plays where you're standing on the sideline talking to somebody. You have to establish yourself in bounds and be where the ref and the back judge can see you as well. I don't really see this too often. Most players, they're pretty good about this. So passing, each down must have one forward pass. Like I said, it must be behind the line of scrimmage when you pass the ball forward. So let's say I step up, my foot's right here. This is not behind the line of scrimmage, illegal forward pass. The receiver must touch the ball beyond the line of scrimmage. So if it's a forward pass and I throw it, you see like, you have people that they'll rock it out, things like that. You have a lateral pass. They must catch it beyond this orange puck. You will see that. This will be the ref's responsibility, so he'll be lined up kind of like right here in terms of the puck, catching everything on the line. So you have a perfect eye to see everything you need pretty much. Once the ball is thrown, it is considered a pass until it is caught or incomplete. The team has 5 seconds to release the ball on a forward pass, so that's something else we were discussing. You got to count. This is also the ref's responsibility. Count your way. Try to count, in terms of 5 seconds. Like if you think you're counting fast, have something to kind of check your arm or your finger, things like that. I could say get a rhythm and try not to change it. So try to be as consistent as possible, because if you start changing the count, it's faster, it's slower. You can start messing with the play of the game as well. The referee will sound the whistle if the passer is still in possession of the ball once the 5 seconds is up. So basically what happens is, let's say they don't pass it, you blow the ball dead, loss of down, and they'll take the snap again from the same orange puck. Any player is eligible to catch a pass. So snapper as well, our snapper can go out to catch a pass. Any receiver, so you got your snapper, your 2 receivers, basically it. If a player goes out of bounds and returns, this is illegal participation. I can say the one thing you gotta watch for this is how did they go out of bounds? Did they willingly go out of bounds? So if they were forced out of bounds, and then the first thing they try to do is establish their way back in bounds, take count of that, and then they are considered legal. If you watch the NFL, you'll see this in a lot of punts. You got your gunners and things like that. What will happen is the 2 people, they'll force them out of bounds, and the first thing they have to do is at least try to establish themselves out of bounds. If not, it's considered illegal participation. So I can say just keep an eye on how they went out of bounds. A team may throw as many backward passes as pitches as they like, and they can be thrown anywhere on the field. So if I complete a pass to Marcelo, and then she passes the ball back to me, I can catch it all the way back here, but now I must run, basically. She can pass it to Chase, she's behind it. We just keep going on and on and on. No defensive player from Team B, basically, may cross the neutral zone until the pass is released. So until the pass is released is important. Now, we had an example where I throw to her, and she pitches it back to me. This line of scrimmage does not matter anymore. So if they want to come and pull my flag, they can now cross it and pull my flag. Most of the time you want to pay attention to this is we talk about rushing. We don't allow rushers, so that's the main thing to look at. Within that 5 seconds, they cannot cross. Once the pass, if they do, this is considered illegal advancement, and then that penalty is 3 yards. Since you ref 77, I haven't seen the slide. All contact, you cut the penalties in half, so 10 yards, you got contact, flag guarding, things like that, they become 5. Anything that is non-contact, so illegal advancement, they're usually 5 yards, they now become 3. What is a catch? I still don't, personally, this is a debate, I guess. Ours is a player must have a possession of the ball. They must land inbounds with at least 1 foot, so we do 1. That is important to remember. If a ball is caught simultaneously by offensive and defensive player, it is dead and it belongs to the offense. We already talked about that. After an incomplete pass, the ball is next snap at the previous spot, the orange puck. So let's say I throw to you and you drop it, it was first down. Now we have second down from the same spot. They don't lose downs, they don't gain downs. Or they don't lose yards, they don't gain any yards either. So that's a good example of a lateral, like we talked about. It's around the same area, so I would throw the ball to her, she's standing right there, and then I would run, you can pitch it back, and then he's gone. So this is legal. Running. A running player is in possession of the ball. They may not stiff arm a defensive player or guard the belt. There are different ways you can guard the belt. So the common one is you have the flag guard. You cannot stiff arm as well. You got spin moves. So when someone spins, you kind of watch if their hand goes down. This is also a form of flag guarding. Some people might hold their belt while they're running as well. Like we said, flag guarding is considered you just throw the ball, throw the flag, and then you don't blow your whistle as well. You just wait till it's dead. You'll assess it from the spot of the flag, the spot of the flag guard, wherever it is. Another thing you might see is if a player is being held, let's say someone grabs their shirt, they go for the flag, they grab their shirt. you'll see the swipe, like get off of me. They'll swipe their hand. That is still flag guarding, but it's also holding. So if you see that, make sure you throw both, and then you have a cancellation basically. So we talked about the other example. They'll basically like cancel out, and then they'll spot right there. The ball may be handed in any direction. So we talked about the lateral, and this is before a forward pass is thrown. So let's say I want to catch it, I throw it back to Chase, I step back, he throws it back to me, and then I throw a forward pass. That is legal.
Well, so you can also hand the ball anywhere in the field, any direction.
Yes.
If I'm downfield, I can be, after the pass has been thrown, I can get test the ball, I can chase it to the ground. I can only throw it backwards. I can hand it forward and hand it backwards. So I know what it is.
The ball strikes the ground, it is dead where the ball hits the ground, and it belongs to the team who fumbled as well. The only thing I can say, like if a team like is running and you see like him throw the ball like 15 yards, spot it from where he threw the ball. Don't get them 15 yards just because he threw the ball as well. Spot it from there. No teammate, offensive player can run through the neutral zone with the ball.
Are you saying they throw a forward 15 yards?
No, I was saying in general, if they're running and like he throws the ball as a fumble, don't give them 20 yards because he threw the ball 20 yards.
Like throws it forward.
No, like throws it forward like a fumble.
Yeah, throws it forward like a fumble. It's still a legal forward pass. If you deem, if the ball goes 20 yards forward by their action, it's probably intentional. It's a legal forward pass.
But that's what I'm saying, like don't give them
Yeah,
20 yards.
If it counts as a legal forward pass, not only are they losing the down, they're also getting penalized for where they threw it, an additional 3 yards, 5 yards. So
What if it's inverted though?
it's inverted, it's a fumble. I mean,
That's what I said. Like if it's
they get it by rule.
they get 20 yards by inverted fumble.
20 yards is not a fumble. That is my
Hey man.
we had a collision. We got some other
No teammate, offensive player can run the ball through the neutral zone with the ball. Can run through the neutral zone with the ball. So let's say the quarterback catches it, I cannot just take off. We have to have one legal forward pass.
He's got to get that ball.
Yeah, so now he is running. This is basically an example, same thing. This is a good spot to take a break. We got time. All right, talk about the momentum rule now. Applies when a defensive player catches a fumble or a forward backward pass between his or her 5-yard line and the goal line. So it's just right before the touchdown, basically, or the other person's end zone. His or her momentum carries him or her into the end zone, and then the ball becomes dead. So normally, if we did not have this rule, it would be considered a safety or a touchback, whatever it is. What you do is, let's say they catch it on the 3, and then they back up right here. It is no longer a safety. So what we do is we'll spot the catch or the recovery, and then if the ball is declared dead in the end zone in its team's possession, without having returned to the field of play and did not advance it out of the end zone. So what happens is they have to pull the flag though. So let's say you catch an interception at 3, and then your momentum carries you into their end zone. Pull the flag. Now we'll spot it from where the catch is, so they'll get the ball from the 3 as well. Is that right?
Yeah, so if I catch the ball between the 5-yard and the goal line, going towards the goal line, if I intercept it and my momentum carries me to the end zone and I get my flag pulled by the now the team that was originally in possession of the ball, at that point it's not safe because the momentum carriers, they're down and they'll get the ball back where they possess the ball at that point. So to draw it out, that's a lot of words to try to make sense. Alright, good. So this is my field right here. So this is my end zone, called 5-yard right there. If I intercept the ball right there, and I'm stumbling in the end zone, when I'm sitting right there, I get the flag. By rule, normally no momentum rule, this would be a basically a safety because I possess the ball in the field of play and I got the flag in the end zone. But because of the momentum rule, it allows me to now hit the ball back right there going that way on that situation. Gotcha.
One thing you want to keep in mind is if they do start running in the end zone though, and then they get their flag pulled, this rule is null and void. It does not matter. They must get pulled right there in the end zone as well. So if they're scrambling around, running.
Now, even if I'm just running around the end zone and I get the flag, I'm fine. I'd still momentum.
Even if you run for like 20 seconds?
The momentum carried me in the end zone. If I'm not out. So if this is my field,
Yeah, I don't know why he erased it.
so I go in the end zone, I run around back here, unless I come out and then go back,
Then that's a safety.
that would be a safety. But if I get deflected at any point when I'm back here,
Okay.
because I could be carried in the end zone and then try to make a move out of the end zone, but not be able to because the defense is right here.
Got it.
So we're not going to penalize them for not being able to get out of the end zone because the momentum will carry them into the end zone. As long as they don't leave the end zone and then come back in, it's momentum. Hope that
Talk about some scoring. Touchdown, 6 points. You got your tries. So anytime a team scores a touchdown, they do get the option to go for 1 point, 2 points, or 3 points. 1 point is from the 3-yard line. These are marked. You'll see a little dash. 2 points, 10-yard line. 3 points is basically 20 yards. So this is from the half field, basically. They do get the choice. If a team intercepts the ball during a try, the play is dead. They cannot run it back. So as soon as you see the defensive player possess the ball, go ahead and blow your whistle and blow it dead. Safety is 2 points. Touchback versus safety. So we just kind of talked about what a safety would be. So a touchback is basically you get an interception, right? And let's say you don't run it out, you'll take it from the 14. Pretty simple. Sometimes you'll see a team, they'll take a knee. So let's say you get an interception in the ball, then they don't want to run it out, they'll just take a knee, and then you'll possess the ball from the 10, actually. We don't start at 14, 10. Mercy rule, like I said, 28 points or more under 1 minute, and this is at the bottom of the score sheet as well, if you forget it. Let's go over some correct open and close plays. If a play is open, any player may complete a legal forward pass to any other player, and there may not be 2 consecutive male-to-male completions or 2 consecutive female-to-female completions. We already discussed this some. First male-to-male completion closes the play. So if I pass the ball to Chase, play is now closed. Same thing, if Marcelo passes to another female, that play is now closed. The play is closed, there may not be a completion from the same gender that closed the play. So play is closed, female to female. You need a male involved after that, pass or catch.
So if we did a male to male, the second play could be a female to female?
It can be a female to female, yeah. And now that play is now open though. It's not closed female to female. The play is still open up.
I got the other.
Oh, I was like, where did the battery go?
So yeah, as long as we have, it's opposite gender. So if it goes male to male or even female to female, that's female to female close to play out. So
It does, even if it was closed?
What?
Even if it was closed before?
Female to female is close. Yeah, the same gender is involved on an open play. The next play is closed. In order for that play to now become open or potentially legal, the opposite gender has to have been involved in some way. So when we're male to male, the next play is a female involved in some way. Throwing it or catching it.
We were discussing if it's male to male closed and it's female to female, it will open back up though,
Yeah,
right?
so if it's closed, if it's male to male, it can be female doesn't need to be involved. So it can be female to female, female to male, male to female. But if it's also female to female, that next play is not closed. And the next play can be male to male, male to female, female to male. So the opposite gender just has to be involved on the closed play. But if at any point during open play, we have the same one going, and that point the next play is closed, to reopen it, the opposite gender has to be involved in some way, shape, or form. Like going male to male to female to female does not close the ball and things like that. That reopens at that point. So.
Yeah, so reiterate most stuff we just talked about. In order to open the play, the offense must involve the opposite gender from which the play was closed from. It must be a legal forward pass, throw, or catch. They must gain yards as well. Positive yards, cannot be negative. If a female passer completes a pass to a male player behind the line and he runs through the offense's scrimmage line, it is a legal forward pass. Pass must be beyond the line of scrimmage. Penalties do not affect the openness or closeness of the play as well. So let's say you have a male-to-male closed play, they get a false start. As soon as you assess the penalty, it's still male-to-male closed. Even if it's a legal forward pass, still male-to-male, anything. You must have like these 3 things to open it up. No penalty will ever like open a play back up. Let's say you have a pass interference. That's still not a completion. It's still not a catch either. So let's say even though they gain yards, the play would still be male-to-male closed as well. Let me see if I can hear if he said what it is. I can't hear it.
Second down, goal line to game, play is closed.
Okay, that's a better example. Let's see so this is one. This is one I was talking about, like how you announce it. We discussed it earlier. You got the yardage or the down. Second down, goal to game, play is closed. Third down, goal to game, play is open. That's basically how you announce it. You can kind of announce like who closed it, who opened it, but honestly, if it's closed, they kind of should know. If they don't know, you can kind of remind them. Early on, later in the season, they should be kind of familiar with what happened. If they don't know, you'll kind of hear them discuss like who closed it. They might ask you and things like that if they know. Just make sure you kind of notify like what the count is basically. Overtime, visiting team calls the coin toss. It's also important. Options, like we discussed before. Offense, defense, defer is not an option anymore, so they get side of field. Usually side of field doesn't really matter because on overtime we play on the same field. We play on the same side, so it's not really that beneficial either. They will play, like I said, they will play towards the same goal on all overtimes. 1 timeout for the entire overtime. Each team is allowed a series of 3 downs from the 10-yard line. And the series is ended by scoring a touchdown, followed by a PAT attempt. Interception will kill the play immediately, like I said, especially since we're not playing on the other side of the field. So let's say, even if it's not PAT attempt, no, usually like we have interceptions, they can run that back. During overtime, they cannot. It just kills the play and then they'll get a chance to score. If the score is tied, each team will have another 3-down series. I kind of explained this earlier with the opposite team having the first option of offense or defense, and you continue until the winner is determined. Sportsmanship, we grade on a 1 to 5 graded scale. This is that SR slot that y'all saw on the scorecard. 5 being the best and 1 being the worst. So we can kind of go through what you'll give a team. 5, it's mostly like they made your job easier, they did nothing wrong. 4, you had like no complaints, nothing going on, but they weren't like perfect. 3 is where you'll probably grade some teams, they give you crap, but you didn't have to throw like a UC or unsportsmanlike conduct. They weren't that bad. If you give anything lower than a 3, you must have thrown an unsportsmanlike conduct. Don't give a team a 2 if you didn't throw a UC, because that means you probably should have and then you just didn't. If you have a 1, you got to come talk to one of us during the game, basically. The game probably didn't finish. They were fighting, things like that. Usually, if you have to give a 1, that game probably did not finish. They were that bad. If you think it's that bad, you probably should have came and talked to us, and then we probably should have handled it before you even got to a 1 anyway. I've only had 1 in 2 years. I do remember the team cussed at Alyssa. That was it. And that was kind of bad.
If you give a 1 or 2, the supervisor needs to know, and you'll fill out a report also with that. So the supervisor will have a report for you fill out for why you'd be able to eventually. So that way we'll meet with the team and try to figure out why they are acting incorrect.
Yeah, most of the time you'll hover around the 4-3 range. Pretty good. Anytime it gets lower than that, you start having unsportsmanlike conduct. There are different versions of UCs, so like don't think just because you threw 2 UCs, it needs to be a 2. A team can get 2 UCs because they were dancing in the end zone. You know, it's not bad. Like it's not that bad to the point where like you need to give a 2 and like we need to come in, but it's still an unsportsmanlike conduct. You might have had one player spike the ball. You know, they have like different levels of UCs. When you do it as a team. You're a cohesive unit, so make a decision as a collective group. You come together, agree, you know, y'all two can say, think they deserve a 4, you give a 4. And this should be done right after the game as well. So your back judge will have the card, you'll meet your ref, and then y'all will discuss it. So this is basically everything I just kind of went over without the slide. So handling conflict, this is important. Know what the player is upset about. If they are mad about a call and don't personally attack you, leave it alone. So if they say that's a horrible call, you know, you can kind of take note of it, but you know, no further action needs to be kind of made. Now, if they attack you or use profanity, basically you need to address this immediately. I've kind of highlighted things that are important language to pay attention to. You see the word you, your. That means they're addressing you personally. So they say, you are horrible. Are you fucking kidding me? Things like that. You know, that's when you need to throw unsportsmanlike conduct. You're blind. This ref sucks. These refs sucks. That's also addressed towards you, both of you as well. So that goes in the same line as you. If they ban an opponent, this needs to be addressed quickly. You can't guard this. You might as well sit on the bench. That's also addressing the other person as well. I could say catch this early. If they do it in the first 1 minute, throw it. I had a ref the other day tell me it was too early to throw a tech in basketball. It's never too early. You can give a tech before the game even starts. Like, there's no perfect time. I'm telling you, unsportsmanlike conduct are your friend. Like, you want to use them if you have to, because if you don't, you're going to be in for a bad hour, the next hour. You know, catch it early, get a hang of it, and don't let it get out of control. Steps for handling conflict, quiet word. So you can have a one-on-one where only you and the player can hear the discussion. You know, bring them to the side, talk to them, hey, why are you upset? You know, just have a simple discussion. Public warning, that's enough. You know, captain's meeting, do this early, not late in the game. This is one thing I'm talking about. If you need to call a captain's meeting before the game starts, do it. If you already see like they're not behaving, things like that, you will see it possibly, hopefully not. But there's no bad time to call a captain's meeting at all. If you see things out of hand, you see two sidelines like chatting with each other already, go ahead and handle it before the game even starts. Unsportsmanlike conduct, I just hit home on this. This is part of your toolbox. Use it. Don't be afraid. When you throw your first one, you know, it might be nerve-wracking, things like that. You might not want to. But once you do, you'll realize like it's a way to keep players in check. 2 UCs, they're ejected, 3 ends the game. So they cannot just go out of control gathering up UCs. Keep that in mind. Ejection. This is last resort, but if someone does cross the line, they do have to go. 2 UCs is a ejection as well. I've ejected a number of players here, flag, basketball, anything. And do not make threats because you're gonna have to back it up. Just avoid it. One more word and you're gone. You know, just like you don't want to tell them, you know, just like you don't want them to use the word you're gone and things like that. Like just try not to use it. You do have the power of the UC, but don't abuse your power as well. Keep that in mind. And make sure you draw the line in concrete and not in sand. So what that means is, you know, if you do make a threat, you know, don't, but like it needs to be in concrete. So if you say one more word and then they say one more word, what are you gonna do after that? Like you have to eject them after that basically, or they're just gonna keep trying you up over and over and over again. So that's one reason to not make a threat as well.
When you draw that line in concrete, you can't take it over. A sand, you draw that line, you cover
Move
it,
it.
draw another line, cover it up. You don't want to do that. Drawing in concrete, so this is the line you cross it, you're done.
So we have a couple unfair acts I did discuss one of these earlier. Refusal to play. A team commits multiple penalties in a row to stop play at the goal line or play in general. I think we discussed that. So you got an encroachment or false start. Now I can say one thing with false start is you have some teams that are just that bad where they cannot get a snap correct. So keep that in mind. That's not them refusing to play. They just kind of don't know how to play. So work with them. Just know the difference. No player or non-player shall use verbal or non-verbal acts to simulate the offensive cadence. So a cadence is basically what the quarterback uses to simulate a snap. So you have go, you have some things like clap, you have something to say hike. So basically what happens is a defensive player cannot mimic this. So you have the ready to play for the whistle. Let's say a quarterback says ready and you have a defensive player say go. They cannot do that as well. Pay attention to this. One thing I say is, if you know the QB's cadence throughout the game, you can see he's a clapper. So if he claps and you see a defensive player doing this as well, that's an easy indication that he's mimicking it. First thing you can do is give a verbal warning, have a captain's meeting. I can say after the first one, throw the UC after that, because you've already gave them the warning. They know not to do it. It's pretty simple. If they do it a second time, they need to be penalized. If they keep doing it, just call the game. This is where you get the refusal to play, just call the game. If you have to call the game, like even if the team, let's say the defensive team is winning and then you do that, they now become the losing team basically because they had to forfeit the game. So even if the offense team is losing 30-0 and you see that defensive team mimic the cadence to the point where they can't play, they now lose the game. It's considered a forfeit.
Keep in mind, they only one player, so we can get that sportsmanlike conduct. We can get another sportsmanlike conduct, that player is gone. So we don't necessarily have to. It's one player who's being named, but we can eject that player with sportsmanlike conduct.
Yes.
We don't necessarily call it one player probably. But I will say I've been doing football for a long time. I don't think I've ever had to call a game because of unfair acts. Even though we have it here, I've never had to end a game to do an unfair act.
Very rare. Let's go over two-person mechanics. Basic positioning. We kind of hit home on this a little bit. Got your ref. I think that was you. Chase is the back judge. So he'll be standing right there. Got your line of scrimmage, orange puck, yellow puck, yellow puck. Like I said, the ref will be lined up with the line of scrimmage so you can see everything down the line. Back judge will basically have the passing game pretty much. Since there's only two of you, you can kind of keep an eye on both. I can say for the ref, your responsibility is the line, but anything short, like 3 to 5 yards, you can also take a look at as well. If it's not in Chase's area, just help him out. If you have a pass like right here, in a flag pole, this is easier for you to see than for Chase to see. So we can kind of go over like where they're standing. So you got your line of scrimmage right here. And this is your ref. You got your back judge down there. The ref is also responsible for moving the cones and placing the cones as well. So as you can see, I can pick them up. Just show it. So your back judge will have the spot as well. And then what he'll do is he'll hold it up and then he'll mark you down wherever he swipes his hand. That's where you'll place the first puck and then you place the second puck as well. So you'll kind of see it. Back judge has a spot. You'll see he picks up the cones. He'll hold them up, and then he'll mark them down. He'll place the first one, place the second one, and then he'll go to the sideline. Pretty smooth right there. That's a good example of it. Make sure y'all are working as a cohesive team, like a unit. This is one thing where y'all will be doing throughout the whole game. This is a good example of like the side of the field. So like maybe he had a better angle to see the flagpole than the back judge as well. You can also see the back judge holds the spot for the ref. He comes through, places the cone, 2 and 2. I could say, since you're new, if you're moving the cones and people are in your way, move them. It might be hard, but you're gonna have to get through there to place the cones. You can be verbal, ask them to move, but like some players, they won't notice you. You can see they're all turned around and walking back, but you do have to get through there, so there's something to keep in mind. Okay, I know what this is talking about. Okay, back judge, this is near the end zone, so your positions kind of change. So he's still somewhere right here on the line, but the back judge is lined up with the end zone so he can see if they score a touchdown, basically. So normally Chase, where we have a back judge, he would be more near this area. He slides up to see the end zone and the catch. You can kind of hug that pylon, that 0 right there. That's a good position to stay at.
Yeah, I like the thing, like that, you know, that's all flat.
I can say one thing to make sure is like y'all are on opposite sides of the field as well. Y'all should never be on the same side of the field. Ooh.
It's going everywhere.
I feel like, yeah, it's skipping.
Wait, so, okay.
I felt like it skipped like some, but
That's a different one than the last one.
yeah, it is. Well, I could talk about this. Just look to see what's next, I guess. So this is one that I was discussing just then. So you gotta, yeah, we did all the videos, but we can go to the, yeah, that. But I felt like it skipped this the first time I looked at it. Like, yeah, okay. So you got goal line positionings. So this is like right near the 7, I guess. So it's not close enough for the back judge to be on the line. So as the referee, you're on the pucks, but as the ball snaps, you'll kind of shift to the goal line so you can see the end zone if they score or not. The back judge will have your back line as well. Basically, you're trying to see if they score or not. You got both angles covered. Ref will have this line and this sideline as well, and then the back judge will have this back line and this. So you have the whole box cover of the end zone. I can say a good time to start doing this is near like the 7 to 5 yard range, and then your back judge will just slide back. So you can see he takes these steps. I can say take your steps after the snap. Don't take your steps before the snap either. You can see where the back judge is lined up. Personally, I would rather have that person more slid to the right. There's no reason for her to be that close if the ref is already right there. So just make sure you can cover as much ground, because if you have a pass at the back line, she kind of can't see that. So make sure you're in the right position to cover that. We can go over some signals. Did you bring the printouts? These are different.
Well, it's all the same thing, it's just, that's one on the book.
Oh, good. Oh, there's a back. So we can talk about some. Got delay of game, encroachment, flag guarding, holding. Illegal contact is one you'll see a lot. So this right here. Illegal pass. You'll see this. Some of these, like legal participation, legal sift, illegal substitution. False start is a... Okay. So false start is this. If you don't remember these, do this. When in doubt, roll it out. So let's say you don't know what illegal shift is. Illegal shift, 3 yards, there. That takes care of that. Some of these you should know. Flag guarding is a big one, so you should know that one. Illegal contact, definitely remember that one. Holding.
So legal motion, for legal motion is one hand, I think it's prior and extra. So legal motion is one hand, like Clint said, someone running towards the line of scrimmage, the ball snap, be a legal motion. Legal shift is when we have multiple people that didn't become set. And the reason why we have 2 hands is there's now more than one person that we end up moving the line of scrimmage. They may have been, they never